All right, everybody, hold on. Let's get a little bit more light on the subject. The subject being me. Wait, what happened? That's weird. Ah, whoa. Almost too much. There we go. I want you to be able to see the garden. We might have to pick it up a little bit as the sun went down kind of last time. Speaking of sun, we finally got some sun. After the video today, it rained every single day. And so everything is just melting. And I went out and shot a video today. So you'll have actually 2 more videos to cover my channel until I get back. So, YouTube is always throwing you a curve, and it said today, upload something before, to entertain your peeps before the show starts. And I'm going, oh gosh, you've seen my Patreon video, which was very well manicured. And, I tried to make that really nice. But I did that in 2016. And you've all seen it. So I thought, what else? But it has to be something that's already uploaded to your channel. And it has to be something short. So there's only like 3 or 4 options for that. And next time, maybe I'll do I have a 3-minute video. It's an animation about aphids. Back when I started, my whole idea, because I was in Hollywood, I've been an actor since 1980, and I was, fell in love with gardening, and I became an urban gardener. And so I wanted to use all of my talents, in front of the camera, acting. And then, of course, behind the camera, I had been taking pictures seriously since 1980, since my first son was born. And so, and I hired people to do all the other jobs that I don't like, which is editing. And I said I would never edit and all of that. I always wanted, somebody to do that. It's impossible to have a shooter, meaning someone filming for you, unless they live with you and can just grab the camera whenever, because you never know. Same thing happened in the video you're going to see today, in both of the videos coming up. You just never know when you're going to see something that's worthy of going into a video. So, you just can't pay somebody to come over and grab that shot. You've got to shoot yourself. So anyway, but I wish I had an editor. And while I'm on the subject, I really wish that someone would design me, because like Doug and Stacy, for example, he told me once he changes it up every year. He does something a little bit different in his videos every year. The intro is different, or this is different, that's different, and that's what I really need to do, because I haven't really changed anything in years now. So meanwhile, while I was not changing, Premiere Pro has changed. And so they are retiring their graphics tool. So all of the graphics, like, for example, the titles, the opening and closing titles and all of that stuff. Some pieces I created as a .mov, as a singular piece that I can copy and put in, but other things, no. I copy and paste it from video to video. And it's been warning me now for like 2 months. We're retiring the legacy titler, and you better learn how to do the titles in this other new thing. And I mean, I don't have time to learn all that stuff. I can barely edit. So I just, editing is not, I just don't have the mental focus for getting good at any of that. I'm trying to get good as a gardener and grow my own food, and that takes a lot of energy. So let me say hello to everybody. We have 53 people that have joined. I hope you'll just go right ahead and hit that like button, so you won't have to remember to do it later. You're going to have a good time this hour with me and my wonderful community. Moderator Patricia is here, making sure everybody behaves. And of course, our steadfast Daryl Luck is here. He has the most popular video that I've made since I've come to Tennessee. I made of his garden, not mine, of his garden. And that has turned out to be the singular, most popular, most viewed video of any video I've made since I've been here. Now, obviously that has to change. But for now, you're holding the record, Daryl, and Daryl is always here. If you're wondering what I'm drinking, this expired. I just noticed the date on here. It expired on 9/11. So I should really get this drunk. It says promote, I saw collagen on here and I thought, ooh, collagen. My computer's beeping. And I thought, oh, collagen, I need collagen. But when you look at the finer print, it says promotes healthy collagen. It doesn't include collagen. It's high in antioxidant vitamin C, Cran Beauty beverage, cold pressed juice with a blend of berry goodness. So that's what I'm having today. I had quite enough caffeine. I don't know how to stop that dinging. I'm sorry. Anyway, where was I? So 54 of you are here. Thank you for those of you who have stopped for a moment to start to hit the like button. I really appreciate it. Hopefully the number will keep growing and we'll have maybe we'll have 200 people. That would be awesome. That's the goal. So text your friends real quick. Marianne is here from Massachusetts and Judy from Louisiana. In what capacity will this cover corn smut? Thank you. Well, once I say hello to everyone, the stack, where are you writing from? I'd like to say hello to you because I think you're new here. I only learned about corn smut today because I uploaded a video and I hope you've all taken the time to watch that. And if you haven't, I'm sad, but please watch it afterwards. I haven't uploaded a video in a few days because there's been a lot going on here, which you'll see in the next two videos. A lot of food preparation, storing, stocking up, getting ready for fall, and dealing with all the rain. Plus I had a friend here, plus the kiddies are on vacation. So it was a lot of coordinating to do. And so I only got the video up today of the whole last week. And so, but I've been continuously shooting. Various things have been going on, but I haven't actually been down to see my corn because it's been pouring literally every single day. Like it rained. It started when I went to get the hay, which you're going to see in the next video. And that was on Thursday, and it hasn't stopped. And today, here we're Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So it has been pouring for 7 days and everything is melting. So I had not been down there to see what the status was of this anomaly. And frankly, I kind of forgot about it until I was editing. And then I thought, oh, gosh, what is that? Well, I know somebody's going to tell me what it is, and they did. I got like the third comment this morning from that video was, I don't remember who left the comment because when I went back to look at it, it was gone. But he said at 11 minutes, which is where I was pointing out this anomaly in my corn. I like to use the word anomaly because I was a big Star Trek fan and they use that word a lot. If you're a Star Trek fan, we are simpatico. Anyway, it just looked weird, and I just thought it was like a deformity. It never occurred to me it was a deformity based on some fungus that's contagious. So I as soon as I saw his comment, which was, it's like between 7 and 7:30 this morning, I saw it right away. And I ran into the computer to research corn smut because I never had that in California. So I didn't, know anything about it. Didn't have it when I had the corn over here. And so I read that it was a delicacy. I in Mexico, they actually cook it and put it in dishes and stuff. But let me tell you, when I ran down there this morning to get that, um, and I saw it, there's no way I would have cooked that and eaten it. It looked gross, and you're going to see that in the video. So I decided to eliminate it and put it in the garbage, and that's what I did in the video. You'll see that. So now, since then, many more comments have come in and said it's a delicacy. It's a delicacy, you know, and all of that. But it's gone. I mean, it's in my garbage. So it just looks like black mold, you know. So if you can make that taste good and look good in a dish, more power to you. But I am not that cook. So 81 of you are here, so thank you so much. So what I would like to know is if people have experienced corn smut, and what do they do? Because at this point, I mean, if you use it, I mean, it's contagious. So it can spread. What I read about it, it can spread over the whole corn patch, and that you might not even be able to plant corn there next year. And there's no antifungal preparation that will kill it or get rid of it. Actually, I find my experience with fungal issues on plants are, there are plenty of preparations, plenty of things. People go, oh, try this for mildew, try this, you know, oh, this is the best thing for top 3 things for this, or all these great remedies for fungal issues. But my experience is nothing kills any of them. It's just, you're just beating it back till you get to the end of the season. Some preparations beat back the mildew better than others. And that's been my experience. If you guys want to debate me on that, I'm happy to learn. I want to learn, because I have a feeling I'm going to be spending a lot of time in Tennessee beating back fungus. So let me know what you think of Slow Moore has never heard of corn smut in 69 years. Hey, Mary. Oh, that's great. I'm going on a big trip too. So, I hope you have a safe trip, and me too. And Patrick in England has never heard of corn smut. So the Stack 510 Count Stacula. I'm going to call you. What shall I call you? Do you have a name? And where do you live? I may have missed it. So you study fungus. Wow, you want to inoculate corn to grow it. Well, that's just it. I have no idea where it came from, because, you know, it was saying in this article that, you know, if you don't use the right amount of, if you use too little nitrogen, or if you use too much, you need to have your soil tested. If you get too much rain, well, we've had a ton of rain. But we had a ton of rain before I discovered it. And since I discovered it, we have had 6 or 7 straight days of rain. So by now it was just like this black, nasty thing. And so I tried to get, Brian is a Trekkie. I will, Sherry. Thank you. Congratulations will be in order when I get home safely, and everyone has a good time at the wedding. Interesting. I have, speaking of mushrooms, I have so many mushrooms that are growing, especially in the hay. What I've noticed is these little skinny ones. I used to see these in California too, in the wood chips. They grow in wood chips and hay, and they're skinny, little white skinny, and then they just have a little, sort of like a little Chinese umbrella that you, or not Chinese umbrella. Is that what it is? Yeah, that you would stick like in a drink or something, in a, what are those cocktails we used to drink? Pina colada or something. You have a little wooden matchstick umbrella. Anyway, they sort of have a top like that. And they grow all over here where I had the wood chips. And so every morning when I would let the kitties out, BJ and Spot would eat those. And they would munch down like 4 or 5 of them right after breakfast. And I'm going, they must know something I don't. And I think, well, if they're poisonous, they would have already. Hayward, California. I don't actually know where Hayward is. Probably should, but I don't. Yes, it's in Montana, Mary. Thank you. Heidi, I did get some good produce, and I would have gotten even more. Heidi said she's complimenting my property, and she hopes my spring crops work better. I did get some good produce. I could have gotten more. If I had been more organized, planned better, kept better notes. Yeah, it would have all gone a lot better. Let's see. Texas white cotton root rot fungus. Linda has Texas white cotton root rot fungus on the roots of her crabapple. High humidity. Well, we certainly have high humidity here. It's like 200%. Well, that's interesting, Leroy, because it's they talked about soil in that article, but this has never even been a garden before. The only thing that's been grown down there is grass, different kinds of grass and weeds. So I don't know. Happy, if you're asking me if I'm going to the HOA conference in Virginia, I have thought about it. I don't have a ticket. It depends on how crazy things get in October. You know, I might, thank you, Mai Tai, thank you. Oh, Hayward is in the San Francisco area. Wow, okay. Well, I was in California. Wait, what's your name? The Stack? I was in California for 32 years. Hard to believe, hard to believe. Oh, okay, Cherie, that'd be fine. No worries. Let's see. Let me see if I'm caught up. Spacing helps with fungus and mildew. That's true. And I had to learn that lesson over and over every single year in California, because you wouldn't think with that climate in California that you would have so much mildew, but it gets on everything. And I had such a small space, and I wanted it to be this lush jungle, you know, just this, because it was so small. If you didn't have 200 plants in there, it would look like nothing, you know, it would just look like nothing. And so I thought, well, if you can't even sort of walk through it, you know, then it will really look like something. I should, you know, there's a picture. I don't know where it is right now, but I should post it. The small town newspaper in our village, out in the community where we lived, the local photographer came over and photographed me twice in my garden. And the second time, the pictures, I don't know, the editor changed, the pictures never got published, whatever. But he sold them to me, so I have the picture. And he got up on a tall ladder and he photographed me at the gate. Remember the gate from the driveway into the walkway? And it was just like everything around me was just like that. It just went up. It was like, it was so much. And so, you know, I've got a little bit, you know, just because of that 8 years of cramming everything in, I brought that mentality here, which I did not need to do. Did not need to do at all. And, you know, I've got plenty of room to grow whatever I want to grow. And so I crammed way too much in that garden over there. And as you can see, this rain has melted all of those squash leaves. So I went out today and I put down melon cradles because I'm thinking somebody actually wrote me and said that their winter squash was rotting from sitting on the wet ground. And I'm going, oh, no, don't let it happen. Please don't let it happen. You can't believe how huge those Guatemalan squash are, the heirloom winter squash. There's one that is that, I am not kidding. I probably won't even be able to lift the thing. Let's just hope, hope it, and it's hanging on the bean trellis. So I'm actually hopeful that because it's hanging on the trellis, it might not, have cause to rot or anything like that. Well, now we have 90 people that have joined us. Thank you so much. We are at 20 minutes after the hour. And I would love it if you would just take a moment to click the thumbs up button. And if you are supporting my channel in some way, I really appreciate it. You can buy a Late Bloomer t-shirt. You can get a mug. And there are other ways to support my channel, which you can usually find under every one of my videos and live streams. I'm an Amazon affiliate. If you felt like that you were ordering a lot of Amazon stuff and you wanted to help my channel at no cost to you, you could become an affiliate. My link is down there. And of course, you can make a monthly donation to support my channel through Patreon. All of that helps greatly and gives me the encouragement to keep after it. So let's see what everybody's having to say here. Okie dokie. Thank you, Debbie. Debbie is here. How are you doing, Debbie? We want to give, I always say this because we want to thank our first responders, our caregivers, and Debbie is a full-time caregiver, and she takes the time to watch my live streams and my videos, and I really appreciate everyone's support, and I really appreciate everyone. We have to all pull together now. Things are crazy in this world, and we have to actually come together and not be so divided. That would be so awesome. Can you imagine if we really came together like, during World War II, when everybody who wasn't in a factory or overseas or, in the war effort, they were home, they were growing food, everybody pulled together. And that's what we need right now. I mean, things are crazy right now. So hopefully things are, yes, Jay Cree. No kidding. Born and raised in California, lovely. Well, it's a lovely state, and it's just too expensive for me anymore. Judy is asking about my firewood. Okay, so the status of my firewood is I have 2 cords reserved, spoken for, and I trust this guy because he came here 3 times last year. And so he's bringing me 2 cords, probably in 4 loads, just probably 1 pickup load at a time. He was supposed to come yesterday, one of the many of the last few days, it was pouring rain. He said, could he come today? It was pouring rain this morning. I said, do you want to come tomorrow? I think it's going to stop. So he's bringing his first load tomorrow. It will be split. He will stack it for me. And I have about 1.5, I have less than a cord in my shop that is split and stacked, but it's over there. So, but it's dry. It's been seasoned. One of them was green, so it is seasoned all year. I don't know if it's long enough to use it this winter or not. I guess it is. And then I have a whole bunch of stuff that hasn't been split, from the trees that were taken down, but they wouldn't be ready this year. Even if I got them split, they wouldn't be. They're still too wet. So I am getting, by the way, Daryl, the whole stacking of wood over there is not happening. And so you'll have to come over next week and show me how to stack it. I'm just going to put 1.5 cords, I think 3 stacks on this deck here. It's not ideal, but it's what it's what I've decided to do. Because I've got to get this organized, covered, and move on to other things. Breaking down the gardens and preparing the gardens and all of that. Mm-hmm. Well, that's interesting, Slowmore. I haven't used any manure down there at all. In fact, I've thought about it, but haven't. So, Judy, I hope that I have plenty of firewood that is split and dry. It's not convenient yet. It's going to have to be moved closer to the house, but otherwise, yes. Well, it occurred on, let me think. It occurred on Daryl's corn. Daryl, it's your fault. I got the seed from Daryl, and that particular stalk was part of his corn seed. So, hey, Edwin and Lucy in Beverly Hills. Oh, yes, that would be awesome if everybody would share this channel. I know that there's a lot of demand. I know everyone's attention is really mainly focused on what's going on in the world, but if you have time, I am trying to provide a little bit of entertainment and brightness, bringing it, into all of this craziness. So I hope you enjoy that, and that's what I'm trying to do. Justin was in Montana. Susie is asking. He was in Montana last weekend, so he had a long weekend, and I have the weekend this coming up. So we decided before he a few days before he left, that we would just reassess and kind of do a hiatus, because just with the way things are right now. I mean, I don't know if you're watching the financial markets, but things are kind of crazy. And, for me to launch into big, expensive, more projects is not a good idea right now. I have to see how things work out, I just had a big expense with the backup generator, which I'm so glad I have. I literally was editing today, and I said, "What's that noise?" Because it's right out here, and it's a little bit louder than my HVAC. And I thought, well, maybe that was something over at my neighbor's, but no, it does a cycle every Wednesday at 1:00. So I looked at the clock and I went, Wednesday, 1:00. There it is, So it is. It's on a schedule to start up every week, and so we know it's working. And I'm just really glad I have that, because just think about it. If I'm sleeping and it's cold and the power goes out and I'm alone and I have to go out to the shop and drag this 200-pound Craftsman gas-powered generator over here and somehow get the cord and plug the cord in and crank it up, because I didn't have the foresight. I wasn't paying attention. Pay attention when you buy your backup generator. You don't want to get this kind if you can help it, unless you're a big, strong guy. And you want the kind you push a button, and preferably dual fuel, so that you don't have to worry about gasoline, because gasoline, you'd have to be feeding it all the time, the gasoline. And if you're in a power outage, gasoline pumps are not going to work. So you run down to the gas station, gas pumps don't work without electricity. So you think, well, where are you going to get gasoline if you've only got a gasoline powered backup generator? So anyway, all of these things have been going through my mind for months, and I finally just bit the bullet and did that. And so I'm really glad I did. Okay. Exactly, Judy. That was the thing. Every single person that I contacted said, "Oh yeah, we can sell you that, but it's going to be 6, 10, 12, 14 weeks." And because I belong to the Happy Hiller Club, which I know Hiller Plumbing and Heating and Cooling and whatever electrical is more expensive because I, bought a membership to their club. Um, they want to keep my business, and they literally had an opportunity they didn't have any. And Kohler had told them they're getting to be a Kohler dealer. Kohler had said it was going to be January or February. And so they just called up and said, we just picked up 2. We just bought 2 and we know we can sell them. We just bought 2. You want one of them? And I said, yes. So that's how it happened for me. And when they came to install it, they said they knew people that had been waiting months. So I hope you get lucky, Judy, like I did. Oh, that's good, Jay Cree. I thought about a solar generator. I wanted actually just one of those small ones, just for, you see those commercials all the time on YouTube for Patriot Supply has all the solar generators and backup food supplies and all of that stuff. And I wanted to get some of that, get one of those. Well, the power source for my generator Happy is asking me what my power source is. We have natural gas out here. It came out here in 1990 something. And as you know, if you've been watching my channel since I got here, those guys hit the gas line, remember? And the gas company had to come out and repair that when they were putting in, as soon as I got here on this property, my main water line to the street, which is 300 feet to the street, that had to be replaced. There was a leak. 3 different companies never found the leak. So we just replaced the whole line, during which the gas line got hit. That had to be fixed. The septic got hit. That had to be fixed. So it's natural gas, Happy, but the machine can also accommodate propane. So if I wanted to, I could put a propane tank up here, a little bit off, up there where the trees are, I think, and run a line down, but that would be more expensive. And so, I've talked to a couple of propane companies, and, they want to be able to access your propane or drop the tank in from a truck with an arm and drop it in. And I'm going, how am I going to do that? I don't know how I'm going to do that. So, and it can't be anywhere near the natural gas line. So it's complicated. What I'm hoping is that the natural gas will not stop flowing. Crafty is asking about the clover. Oh my gosh, it exploded. But as you will see in the video, a lot of those little sprouts just got washed right out with all that rain. So it remains to be seen how many are going to, grab on. That's correct. There was not enough homework being done that day. That's for sure, on the homeowner's part as well as the company. He made an assumption that most of these country roads do not have natural gas, so he just made an assumption that I didn't have it. He didn't ask, and I didn't think to tell him. So that's how that happened. I know where it is now, for sure. Well, I know, and I have the Craftsman, and I also bought, for a wedding present, I gave my son and his fiance a dual fuel backup generator. I think it was a Westinghouse. Their electrician, they had an electrician that did a lot of work in the house they bought. And he recommended that one. So that's the one I got them. But, you have to also get the 30 amp or 50 amp cord, the 50 amp inlet box, which an electrician has to install, has to go into your panels somehow. I am a novice at all of this. So, Krista, I am growing the clover as a green manure for the future garden down there. So what I did was I laid out, she's asking me why I'm growing the clover. So I'm just growing the clover for the deer, it's interesting about the deer, I'll tell you. But anyway, I decided to do a silage tarp. First of all, I had Jeff Poppin, who is also known as the Barefoot Farmer. He came here and consulted back in March. He said my best soil was down below because, over the, centuries or decades, the dirt just goes down the hill and just kind of lands in that area like that at the bottom of my front yard. So he said, that's your best soil. He did some digging around to determine. And so we decided between the two of us that I would have a garden down there. And it was going to be smaller. And then when I looked at the size of the silage tarps, they didn't have the size I was thinking. So I bought a bigger one, which was 50 by 105 feet, which is 700 square feet less than my entire property in Los Angeles. So that garden down there is sitting on about 9/10 of the entire property, including the house, the garage, the art studio, the driveway, and the garden of the Los Angeles property. So I had a very small garden in California, and now I've got this big space, and there's definite challenges. Will not say there isn't. There's definite challenges. There's challenges in this environment, this climate, and having a bigger place. And you have to have some funds, obviously, especially if it's just one person. You got to have some funds to keep this all going. Because even if I don't have Justin working here, I've got to have, the mowers, and I've got to have the wood delivered and various and sundry help here and there. So, which I will be looking into because, full-time, having a full-time employee is very expensive, as you can imagine. So, especially one that's as capable as Justin is. So, I'm just pulling in the reins and kind of waiting to see what October brings, because there's a lot of talk online that it's going to bring a lot of chaos. So, in a number of sectors. So we'll see. Let's see. So the clover, I hope I answered that question. The clover will be, because there's never been a garden there before. And I thought, rather than going and buying a humongous bag of nitrogen, just grow some clover. And then when it gets, and of course, then I get to see it bloom. And before the blooms go to seed, I just take my little tool with a blade on it and go back and forth, cut it all down. And then I think the next step, and you can correct me, Daryl, or anybody, is I think I have to have him. I didn't really want to disturb what was underneath the silage tarp, because you saw in the video today when I picked up the dirt, it had mycelium in there. There was fungal matter growing, but it was extremely dry. And my neighbor didn't think it would be that if I just scattered seeds that it would actually grow. So This is what I'm wondering, and plus there were a bunch of rocks in there. Not as bad as up here. Oh my gosh, no, not nearly as bad as up around here. I mean, they're just, you can probably see there's piles of rocks. Right there is a huge pile of rocks that came out of that space. So that's the way I did it. I had the benefit of having a wonderful neighbor who wanted to be of service, and that's the kind of guy he is. So, he's not really set up for that. That disc, he said, was just somebody had left it with him a long time ago, and he used it, but he said it'll just bounce along the ground. It won't even dig in unless we do the plow part first. So that's what we did. And so hopefully the cover crop will grow up, and then I can cut it down and we'll turn it under, and then all winter that green matter will just turn into manure, which will feed the soil. I don't have a push mower, so that won't happen. I mean, obviously I could have the mowers just go over it, but I sort of have this nostalgic is not the right word, but I saw online, he had he had a garden that was like a quarter the size of that. And he did the same thing. And he was, what country was he in? I think he was he was in England or something, maybe Australia, I can't remember. It's a really nice video. He did the same thing, and he used the scythe. Isn't that what it's called? With the angled blade, and you just go back and forth. And I just thought it looked very romantic, and I wanted to try that. Well, I did collect the SMUT, the sack. I did collect it into a garbage bag, but it just sounded like, okay, something that the fungus doesn't kill, that can kill my entire crop, and I can't plant it there again next year or maybe ever. And I'm going, this is something I don't want. So A.M. Powell, sorry. Finally got on your internet to let, I don't, if you left a comment, I didn't see it. So A.M. Powell, you'll need to do it again. I'm glad you made it on live. Yeah, you're probably right, Linda. Okay, C. Lynn said she canned 50 jars of potatoes. Now, how did you can the potatoes? I've been wondering, how do I preserve potatoes? They're just going to go bad. They're not going to, they're going to grow eyes, and they're going to get soft. And, I don't have that many right now anyway. I probably have about 3 pounds of potatoes in there that I grew. So I bought a couple of bags from the store, and all of those, let's see, I don't know if you can see, there's, wait, right there, all of that are potatoes growing in that mound. We just, Justin and I planted potatoes in that mound, and I don't know how they're going to do. They're still green. But, the soil was very dense because it was literally scraped up and dumped from the skid steer, Larry's skid steer, the man that scraped that off. And so, because this tarp wasn't on nearly as long as the one down there, and so there was still some live grass, and so we decided to skim off the top of the grass and mound it up there. And I thought, I'll just put some potatoes there and put some dead grass on top of it and see if they grow. Pressure can. Yeah. See, I still haven't learned how to do that. And I bought the pressure canner. Pretty pause. I know I was talking about that earlier. Maybe you didn't hear me, but I said it when we first got on because the stack was urging me to get onto the topic. I know it is, but I don't want it to ruin my corn. Shred. I could shred the potatoes and freeze them. Now, you probably have to, J. Cree, you probably have to, do I have anything I could shred them? I have a food processor. That would be, you know what happened? You see this, all of this? Now I got to go to a wedding with all of these scrapes on my hands, especially that one. That one is really pretty bad. I was just grating cheese for my eggplant. All of my knuckles went off. Scraped 3 fingers on that hand and 1 on that hand. And I'm going, no. I have one of those Parmesan grater things like they use in a restaurant somewhere. I don't know where it wound up, but I know I didn't get rid of it. And from now on, I'm using that. I bought this really nice grater that I saw. I think I saw it on Mary's Nest channel. I think, yeah, she was doing some lemon zest on it. And I said, oh, I've got to have a grater like that. A lot of skin went in there. Anyway, grating potatoes. Maybe I could shred them in the food processor. And Linda says, cut them into French fries, hash browns, mash, and so forth, and freeze. But I'm thinking you probably need to put it in a colander and let it drain, don't you? Because it would just freeze into a hard clump. Well, Christy, you should talk to Daryl about that. I don't know if Daryl ever did it, but he was trying to talk me into getting a motorized wheelbarrow, but I didn't because they were $5,000. And I said, well, you know, I just think that the 4-wheeler, and this turned out to be true. I didn't spend that for the 4-wheeler because my 4-wheeler is 20 years old. But and recently it had to have a radiator fan replaced. So I'm so glad Justin got that done before we suspended work. But I just think the 4-wheeler with the truck and everything, if I ever get comfortable driving that thing around, that's just going to be so much better for me than I would get much more use out of it than a motorized wheelbarrow, I think. And I could use a vacuum sealer. Linda is recommending a vacuum sealer. Yeah, I've been sucking. You saw me, and oh no, that's in the next video. Sucking the air out of the bags with a straw. Dehydrates potatoes? Well, potatoes are almost all water. That must take like a whole day. I know. I need some gloves. But how do you wear gloves in the kitchen? The only gloves I have in the kitchen are rubber, and they would. Happy just sent me a text, but I couldn't read the whole thing from the preview. So let's see. You dehydrate potatoes. I could do that. I could put some in. Well, you know what? I'll just have to do it when I get back. I've got so much to do when I get off the live. I'm just getting like working to like jump in the bed and then get up early. I've got to check in my flight and do all that. So, and pack, and oh my gosh, I have so much to do. Interesting. Okay, so Linda says, yes, dry a little, then use vacuum sealer bag. Oh, yeah. Well, I should get a vacuum sealer. I did see them at Wally World. I did. Thank you so much, everybody. We have 110 people. If you're joining my channel for the very first time, I hope you'll subscribe and follow my journey here to build a sustainable homestead on my new property in Tennessee. It's not real new now. I'm in my 10th month. Incredible. A lot has happened. Wow, so much has happened, and I've tried to cover all of that in my videos and my live streams. So if you're interested in seeing how I did it, please check it out. Wait, you're heating up mashed potatoes that you cooked in real chicken broth and then froze it. Oh, and now you're heating it up to eat it tonight. Ooh, wow. I'm going to do something like that next week when I get back. I'm going to really hunker down. Somebody asked earlier, what's happening in October? Well, it's just a continuation of what's happening now. I mean, just look at what's happening to the stock market. Look at the Evergrande in China. The largest real estate company in China is filing for bankruptcy or something. It's going to rock everything. So that is it. Well, it already has. It's that's definitely going to affect a lot of things. They're talking about food supply challenges and shortages and continuing in October. So we just all need to be prepared. You need to have water. You need to have food. You need to have some way to get warm. You need to have shelter. You don't have to have a big place. You just need what you need so that you don't go hungry, so that you have clean water to drink and heat and all of that. So just imagine if there's a big power failure, what will you do? Think about it, for your situation. So everybody's talking about it online. And doing a much better job of it than me. I'm trying to be like the orchestra on the Titanic, keeping everybody, happy and all of that. But I'm very aware of what's going on, and you should be too. Everybody should be. So, wow, kitchen prep, cut resistant. Of course, Leroy. Of course, they have something for everything. Kitchen prep, cut resistant glove. I'm getting it. I am absolutely getting it because I always cut myself. Cut resistant glove. I'm making a note. It's the only way I'll be able to remember. Okay. And exactly, Judy. We must be positive. We must stay positive. We can't let it drag us down. And your vacuum sealer you're using 15 times a day. Wow. I guess I'm going to have to get one. I thought, well, do I really need that? Would I really use it that much? And of course, now that I have, when I was in California, I just go to the store, go get something fresh. You have no idea with all these tomatoes, how many times I've wanted fresh cilantro and tried growing it here for whatever reason, have not been successful. And, you just can't make salsa without fresh cilantro. I know some people don't like cilantro and they substitute it, like Mary at Mary's Nest. She doesn't like cilantro. So she substitutes it with fresh parsley. Not my thing. I love cilantro. And so it's like, I just say, well, if I can't have salsa with fresh cilantro, then I'll just freeze the tomatoes whole and do something with the tomatoes later. So that's what I've been doing lately. But I'm going to thank you, His Servant. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get the vacuum sealer. I'm going to get the kitchen glove. Because when you work with your hands, they never, even a little scrape like that. That was like days ago. And it's completely inflamed all around it. I can't tell you, I've been cleaning it with Bactine cleansing spray, hydrogen peroxide, Neosporin, Band-Aids. The Band-Aids will not stay on. Even when I put tape around it, within 30 minutes, they're falling off in the food, and I'm just going, I've got to do something. I will plant it when I get back. I planted cilantro. Oh, yes, I planted cilantro this last round. And all of these cool season things, I mean, there's only a couple came up. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I did everything exactly the same as I did in the spring when I had all that success. So I just, I don't usually start seedlings in the fall because that's just not the way I did things in California. So I will try it again. So, and now that I have whole tomatoes in my freezer, then it's feasible that I could have fresh cilantro over the winter. I mean, fresh salsa over the winter. Because I'm sorry, in a pinch, canned salsa will do, but only in a pinch. It's that fresh salsa, fresh tomato, fresh onion, fresh jalapeno. Yum. Yeah, I think you're right. The stack, some people they think cilantro tastes like soap. I know, Lynn. I don't know what's going on. I look in there. I did 2 trays. I said, this is all I'm going to do. I did cabbage and broccoli and this thing and that thing and all of this stuff. And this is the second time I tried it. And I'm just going, I can't worry about it. A few little things came up and I said, I can't worry about it. I'm going away this weekend. I'm going to have to go and pick up the kiddies from vacation. So I'm going to be in and out of here for like a week. So yeah, I will. A. Clark thinks it tastes like soap. And I know people do feel that way, but I love it. So yes, I've actually never cooked, chicken broth is one thing I don't have a big supply of. And I should, because boy, are we going to need our broth this winter here, or I will. Country Homestead Preacher is here. Good evening. Thank you for joining. Oh my gosh, what time is it? Oh, we've only got about 4 minutes. Yes, well, I used the heat mat, and I'm thinking, well, should I have used a heat mat when it was already 75? I keep my thermostat set at 75 or 76 because I don't want the air conditioner coming on all the time. So I'm thinking maybe I shouldn't have used the heat mat. I have a feeling that was the problem. I did it just to speed things up, but then 1 or 2 things came up right away. Nothing else did. And then now those things, and so then I took the heat, and then I unplugged the heat mat, and it's just like, man, if I am able to keep the Sweet Annie, I finally got Sweet Annie, a little bit of Sweet Annie. It's only about that big, but if I can just keep that alive while I'm gone, I'll be happy. Count Stacula. That is so funny. Anyway, I think yeah, parboiled. Parboiled is sort of a term that we don't really say that much anymore, Leroy. He says my mom and grandma always par cooked, and I think we called it parboiled potatoes before freezing. That's a very good point. They'll be grainy. I had a feeling something. Yeah. Well, of course, I will check online before I actually do it. But Susan says, they look like potato chips, but don't taste like chips. So what do you use dried? I mean, how do you rehydrate dehydrated potatoes? What do you make out of them? Yes, Hisservan is saying praying for Australia. Yes, and well, not just Australia, but for sure Australia. But Australia is starting to wake up. So we'll see. We'll see what happens over there. But it's just, I mean, things are happening at a breathtaking pace. It's just incredible. I mean, I could just spend like 3 hours a day just trying to keep up with everything, and I wouldn't get anything done. So, oh yes, we know, Krista. It sure is, and it's remains to be seen what's going to happen. Okay, Linda's gone. So Susan, are you saying you freeze the potato, or you parboil potatoes, then you freeze them, and while you're freezing, you add the onions and peppers? Or I might have gotten that mixed up. Julie says, yes, no flavor lost. Everything is saved. Wait. You must still be talking about cooking your potatoes in chicken broth. I bet if you cook potatoes in chicken broth and you froze them, and then later you just put that in the food processor and you added either more broth or milk if you drank milk, or you could cream of potatoes. Ooh, that's suddenly sounding so good. I am so not interested in going to any restaurants anymore. I know that doesn't help the restaurant business, and I do want the restaurant business to survive this tsunami of closures and all of that, because a lot of people depend upon that for a living. But I'm just personally, there's not a lot of places to go around here that has good quality food. And so I just look forward to eating something here. This morning I'm going to tell you what I ate for breakfast, and then I'm going to go. I made, so I bought a yellow squash, just a, summer squash. It was, that shape. I forget what you call that shape. And I bought it from the guy who sells the Amish produce. Bought some of those, and then I put about a quarter of a Vidalia onion chopped. One of my they've just been in the refrigerator, the last of my pumpkin jalapenos. So it's still fresh. Minced that, chopped up the onion, thinly sliced the squash, and then half in the middle, and did the same with the small Yukon Gold potato, and just cooked that in a little bit of avocado oil, and until it was tender. And then I put in 2 scrambled eggs and just scrambled it up, put in turmeric, salt and pepper, and boy, was that so good. Now, if I had had some greens to put in that, it would been even healthier. Like Jack Davis would always put. She would put Egyptian spinach or perpetual spinach or red Malabar spinach. I loved growing all of those in California, but I haven't succeeded in growing them here. And I ordered perpetual spinach, or tried to, from Baker Creek, and they were sold out, and I never got it. So anyway, I just really appreciate everybody who took the time to spend this hour with us. And I wish you well. God bless you all, and stay safe, prepare. Hopefully you won't need it, but if you do, then you're prepared, and it won't throw you, because the last thing we want is something to really go south, and then we're not mentally prepared for it. So just do a little bit, whatever you can. Of course, everybody's been saying this for some time now. So anyway, take care, everyone. I hope you look forward to my next couple of videos. Please watch my channel, videos that you've missed. I hope you subscribe if you haven't. And I look forward to seeing you next Wednesday. I'll be back here at 5 p.m. Central. And in the meantime, you'll see a couple more videos that I've shot in the last yesterday and today. So take care, and I'll see you next time. And I might come to you from Montana. I mean, Montana is a beautiful place. I'm going to be in a place called Pray. I'm going to be doing a lot of praying. Take care.